What's going on, everybody? It's a blue light kind of night. Y'all already know what it is, and we under the blue lights, man. Do it look purple? It look purple. It look purple, but it is blue. It's a blue light kind of night, y'all. Again, how y'all doing? What's going on? What's going on out there? Y'all know I want to know. Y'all know I want to know. Go ahead, put it on in the comments, man. Put it on in the comments. I know it's been a lot going on, and we can talk about it. We can definitely talk about it. It's been a lot going on, man. Speaking of a lot going on, man, I got another video right here, y'all. True crime video. Now, the other videos I showed y'all was it was the guys unaliving the women. They, get in a jealous rage or whatever the case may be, or they just at a certain time show their true colors. In this video right here, the tables turn. You know what I'm saying? It's a woman that unalive a guy, her rapper boyfriend / baby daddy. Now we're gonna watch this video together, man, and I don't like none of these videos, man. I don't like when this stuff happens. I don't like when the stories like this go on. But we're gonna watch this video, man. I'm gonna sit back and we're gonna see what the case is with this case right here. Blue light kind of night. Thank y'all for watching. I always say that at the beginning and the end of the video. Thank y'all for watching, man. Thank y'all for subscribing, and y'all really have been in the comments. Go ahead on the comment, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment. I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. So let's get into the video, man. Let's watch this video. Blue light.
You took his life and said bye. You showed no remorse for him. None. Not for me, not for my daughter, not for his kids. Because you had no remorse for my son and you showed no empathy for him. You deserve every single year they can give to you.
This is the story of DeMonte Smith, age 29, a rapper who was shot and killed by the mother of his child, Quenisha Nicole Johnson, age 30, in the presence of police officers because he was upset that she went partying overnight and left the kids with him. Quenisha, who asked the officers what it means if she kills him and claim self-defense, went through with the dangerous threat. She hit him with an iron bar on his head, then shot him in the chest and told him, bye. Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories. This story will be taking us to Lithonia, Georgia. Lithonia is a suburb of Atlanta with a population of 2,614. Lithonia is a small but unique city in Atlanta's East Metro area. Its nickname is the City of Granite due to the amount of rock found in the community, but there is much more to it than that. Lithonia presents a total crime rate that is 13% lower than the national average per 100,000 residents. DeMonte Smith, age 29, was a rapper out of Atlanta who was aspiring to be great. He had some songs on social media.
Dang, commercial caught me. It's all good though. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, you got MTC on the track, man. You ain't trying to get your hands dirty, what you in it for? I done robbed plenty folks, I done cut plenty dope. And I know the nigga that shot my nigga, but he ain't standing dope. And I heard he died and I survived, so what you panic for? Young nigga, lot of mouths to feed, I'm in family mode. Spit your cantaloupe, yeah, just to get the other load.
He was trying his best to make it big. DeMonte was in a relationship with someone named Quenisha Nicole Johnson, age 30. They were very close. They had a child together. They were so close that she was in most of his music videos.
Y'all know a motherfucking rock star. Tell me something different. Tell me something different.
I know this little bitch, she cap it to me. I know this little bitch, I know this little bitch, she cap it to me. I bit through too much, they what happened to me. And how you want smoke, you ain't matching nothing. Start moving right now, they acting funny.
DeMonte was known by the law. He was said to have led police on a long chase not too long before this incident, which got him arrested and jailed. According to friends, when he got back out, he had nowhere to go, so he met Quenisha, who took her into her house with her other kids. DeMonte was also said to reportedly have a history of domestic abuse. On November 26, 2022, Quenisha had gone out clubbing with her friends and left her 3 children with DeMonte, the father of her youngest child. DeMonte was expecting to see Quenisha back at home early in the morning around 6 a.m., but she never made it back home and her phone was off, so he called all local hospitals and jails looking for her. It made it worse because before her phone went off, she told him she was about to get into a fight with a group of people. Around 9 a.m. when she eventually turned her phone back on, she got messages from DeMonte. The text messages showed that he was upset and angry and also threatened to hit her when she got home. DeMonte is known to having a history of abuse and had threatened to beat and kill other women in the past. She called her family members, who conference called DeMonte into the conversation. They advised her to go with a police escort, which she called 911 and asked for one. When she returned to the home about 2 hours later, one of the DeKalb County police officers who responded told her to put her gun in her car, which she did. While the police was there, they went back and forth with each other, so the officer told them to go calm down indoor. The officers tried to resolve their dispute, but Quenisha continued to talk over them and was combative with them. Officers were finally able to send them indoors to calm down. As she walked inside, Quenisha asked the officers what would happen if she shot DeMonte in self-defense and told them that she had already looked up the self-defense law. While officers were outside waiting to see how things will go, Quenisha went back outside, grabbed a metal tire iron and her gun from her car, and went back inside the house. She told one of her children to call 911 and say that DeMonte had hit her, which was later confirmed that he never did.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
My mom just hit a woman and I feel like I'm in danger.
What's the address?
796 Indian Lane.
Okay, do you know the phone number you're calling from? Do you know the phone number you're calling from?
I don't even know. She just hit my mom.
Quenisha then hit DeMonte in the head with the tire iron and then shot him. The gunshot was heard on the 911 call, as well as Quenisha repeatedly saying "bye" to DeMonte afterwards. DeMonte went outside and told the officers, "She hit me in the head with a metal thing and then shot me. Hurry before I die." He then collapsed. Quenisha was instantly arrested in front of her kids, even though she could be heard saying, "I told you to help me."
Not so fast.
Wow. Like the question she asked, and then proceeded to do the act. Like the question she asked. Wow. Like I think he got a history. He got a history of like domestic abuse and stuff like that. So I think she probably got to a point where she didn't care no more, because the question she asked and then she just went on ahead and did it. But she wouldn't. why she gone though? And with his history and stuff, like, why she left him with the rest of her kids and why she at the club? I don't know. I ain't judging nobody. Let's get to the commercial though.
Fast, huh? Tell me it looks worse than it is. It looks.
During an interview at police headquarters, she admitted DeMonte did not hit her that day. Investigators later learned DeMonte had requested a rideshare to leave the house, but was killed just minutes before it arrived. She pleaded not guilty and the case was sent to trial.
And the case is against this woman. She is the defendant. Her name is Quanisha Johnson, and she's alleged to have shot and killed her boyfriend.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to say it, but wait, hold on. So she said he didn't hit her. And then he requested like a Uber to get out the situation. But she hit him up. I'm confused. I got a brain fart right now. I'm so confused. I'm confused.
Boyfriend DeMonte Smith. This incident occurring back in November of last year. The state of Georgia saying it was murder, but Johnson says she shot him in self-defense to protect herself from her boyfriend, who she says was her abuser. For more on the background of this case, here's Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae.
A domestic dispute turned deadly after Quanisha Johnson fired a shot into the chest of her boyfriend, DeMonte Smith. On November 27, 2022, Johnson called the police 3 different times after receiving what she called threatening messages and phone calls from her boyfriend. Once arriving at her home, she also set off a burglar alarm to get police to show up. She eventually flagged down an officer near her home. In front of police and outside of their home, Johnson and Smith engaged in a verbal altercation. Officers then instructed both to go inside, observing no physical abuse. But before returning to her home, Johnson asked an officer what would happen if she shot her boyfriend in self-defense. That officer allegedly responded she would need to be able to articulate her need for using a weapon in self-defense. As the officers leave the scene, Johnson is seen grabbing a tire rod and her handgun. A few minutes later, a gunshot is heard from inside the home. Smith is rushed to the hospital and later dies from his wounds. Johnson now faces several charges, including malice murder, aggravated assault, and child cruelty, since the shot was fired in front of her children. Prosecutors believe there was no imminent threat, and once Johnson grabbed the tire rod and gun, she intended to kill her boyfriend. The defense claims Smith had a history of domestic violence against his girlfriend, and that she was attempting to prevent another incident from occurring when she took that weapon for protection after police didn't intervene. The defendant plans to testify and explain her actions in front of the jury in an attempt to prove she acted in self-defense.
She was interrogated by the lawyers during trial. All the 911 calls were played.
Man, this is a wild story right here. This is a wild story. She said he didn't hit her that day. But you know, if he got a history, then that don't mean he never hit her. But she say he didn't hit her that day. And then she asked the police officer the question and then proceeded to like hit him with a tire iron and then unalive him by letting loose on him. Like, this one, wow. Like, hey, we got it.
Just got the cat told me about a month ago. How long until you arrive at the location? Like 9 minutes. Did you say where? 9 minutes? 9 minutes away. What kind of car are you in? Color name? I'm in a white Ram pickup truck. Okay, what's your name? Quanisha, Quanisha Johnson. And what do you need an escort for? Are you just trying to gather belongings, or? No, I live here. The house, my name, I just need him.
And so when he comes out, what's going through your mind? What happens?
I immediately go into parenting mode of developing my daughter being outside at 2 months, half naked, sweater diaper, no head, and 60-degree weather in November.
And what happens after that?
I asked him, to put my daughter in home.
And did Officer Krause instruct Mr. Smith to give you your daughter so you could take her in the house?
He does.
And did he follow the officer's instructions?
He did.
Now, tell us what happens between you and DeMonte while the officers are there.
After I asked for him to give me my baby so I could take her in the house, he then goes to say, BICCH, this is my baby too. You wasn't worried about her, you was out all night being a thot, effing men. He just started to become disrespectful. I responded to his disrespect, telling him that his name is him on the birth certificate and technically it's not his daughter. He calls me a stripper, I calls him broke.
Now, were you scared at that point?
I was still scared, but I felt like I was able to respond to his disrespect.
Why was that?
Because the cops were there and I didn't think that they would leave us alone.
And you had put your firearm in the car.
I did.
Can I ask you, you had your firearm on you when he was threatening you. You could have just gone to your house with your firearm. Why would you call police?
Because I never would have thought it. I called police to protect me. I was never thinking of using my firearm at all.
So tell us what happens after. So you and him argue back and forth. We've all seen it. You've been here through the trial. We've all seen it. And then tell us what happens as the argument is ensuing and police officers are about to leave. Tell us what happens.
Officer Lamy asked me a question. She asked me, she's telling me that he stays here. She's asking me, how does he, or something about him staying there. And I told her and explained to her that he had just got out of the Cape County jail and that I was allowing him to stay there. He has no residency there. Let her know that his name is not on the lease, nothing. As I'm telling her that she's trying to tell me something else, so it appeared that I was like talking over her, but I was just finishing my explanation of him not having the residency there asking them to remove him from the household. Officer Cross then tells me he can go back inside with the baby. He goes inside. I'm standing in the threshold of the doorway. As he walks past me, he tells me when the cops leave, he's gonna beat my ass.
And were you on the phone with someone?
I never got off the phone. My parents was on the phone the entire time.
Were both of them on the phone?
Yes, they were.
And that's Rochelle Newell and Andrea Gonzalez?
Yes.
And he says when the cops leave, I'm gonna beat your ass?
Yes.
And do you inform the cops of what he's just said?
Immediately.
And what do they do? What's their response?
I asked them, I said, did y'all just hear him? I repeated what he just said. They didn't say, I don't believe they said anything.
And what happens after that?
I asked, continuing to speak as of, okay, so what am I to do in a matter of defending myself? I didn't say if I shoot him out of self-defense because he keeps putting his hands on me, then I held accountable.
And what's the response?
Also, then he says, if you do that, just make sure you're able to articulate it in court.
And what do the officers do next?
Welcome.
And DeMonte's in the house?
Yes.
And they leave you at the house?
Yes.
Tell us what happens after that.
In the midst of them walking off and me being in the dressing room of my doorway, my dogs got out. My dogs walked down the street, running down the street. My Nala is now in the doorway, helped me get the dogs back in the home. I tend to go up the street to get my dogs, I bring them back. I advise my dogs to go in the house prior to going inside my home. I do go to my car to retrieve my firearm, and a tie rod.
Now, Ms. Johnson, you said that you were licensed to carry.
I am.
Tell us what it means to be licensed to carry.
To be able to hold a firearm and force defense lawyers like for safety and protection.
Were there requirements you had to go through to obtain a license to carry?
FBI clearance.
Anything else?
No, Georgia didn't. No, Georgia don't. You don't need to permit a license to carry in the state of Georgia. Well, background check.
Okay. So you go outside to get your dogs run outside. You go outside to get your dogs. And while you're outside, you go to your car and you grab your firearm. Where do you put your firearm?
In my right sweatpants pocket.
And you grab anything else?
Tie rod.
Okay. And when you say a tie rod, how big is it? How thick is it?
It's not really that thick. It's probably about this thick and probably about this long.
Now, why did you grab your firearm and the tie rod?
I grabbed my firearm because my firearm never stays in the cars. It goes into my home in a lockbox.
Ms. Johnson, how did it make you feel knowing what had happened?
It still makes me feel the same way. I never wanted it to happen. I didn't intend for it to happen. I didn't mean for it to happen.
But in that moment, you felt like you had to defend yourself.
I did.
At the end of the day, she was found guilty of a lesser charge.
Quanisha Johnson acquitted on the most serious charge.
Let's get to work, fam.
Wow. Like, I don't know. Is it just me, or is like, I know she probably not, I mean, I know she was like, you know, crying or whatever. I don't think though she's sorry for what happened. I don't think she's sorry for what happened. And it may be due to like the past with him, like, you know, cause like the police said that he have a history, you know, the record and everything, he have a history of domestic violence against her. So I felt like, you know, she probably just got tired and it say, you know what? But she was so bold and did it right in front of the police though. That's why the story's so wild to me. She did it in front of the police. Let's get through this commercial though.
As to count one, malice, murder, we, the jury, find Quanisha Johnson not guilty. As to count two, felony murder, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty of voluntary manslaughter. As to count three, aggravated assault, family violence, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty. As to count four, aggravated assault, family violence, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty. As to count five, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, we, the jury, find defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty. As to count six, cruelty to children in the third degree, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty. As to count seven, cruelty to children in the third degree, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quanisha Johnson, guilty.
DeMonte's mother made a victim impact statement.
They called me and told me, ma'am, do you know a DeMonte Smith? And my heart dropped. I had to describe my son to this woman. I'm sorry, to this man. And I knew at that moment that he was gone. Because see, a mother's intuition tells you everything. That Sunday, 2 o'clock, I fell to my knees in the middle of the store with pains, and I didn't understand why. Because my son wasn't here anymore. All night I tossed and turned. I had no idea what was wrong. And I got to work, and the medical examiner called, and I couldn't get it together. I blacked out. And then the detective called me, and my first words was, "Where is she?" They said, "Who? Where is the woman that killed my son?" Because I knew it was you. A darkness dwelled inside of you. You took his life and said bye.
Now hold on, man. I know y'all. I'm sorry, but listen to what the mom said. She said, "I knew it was her." She asked the officer, "Where is she at?" Now, why she asked where she at, where the girlfriend is at, and how does she know it was her? I'm thinking that she knew that what her son was doing. I'm not putting the blame on nobody, but I'm thinking to myself, she knew what the son was doing. So she kind of figured that it would be the girl, you know, that his girlfriend that did it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting from that. Like, because how did you know it would be her? You know? Come on, let's keep going.
You showed no remorse for him. None. Not for me, not for my daughter, not for his kids. I can't believe that I felt sorry for you for a moment. But I didn't know all the facts. I didn't know everything. I have no remorse for you. I have no empathy because you had no remorse for my son and you showed no empathy for him. You deserve every single year they can give to you.
During the sentencing phase, things did not go the way they wanted it because she was sentenced to 20 years, but the judge was really lenient with her.
And even though the jury did not hear the 911 tape of the previous domestic violence incident between Mr. Smith and another female, the court can consider that along with the police report and disturbing photographs of abuse to your minor child by the victim in this case. On the day of the incident, Ms. Johnson, I believe that you took all the necessary steps to ensure your safety after Mr. Smith had threatened to inflict bodily harm upon you. And it does not matter that you stayed out all night, or even if you stayed out for a week and leaving your children with whomever. That does not constitute that somebody would threaten you with serious bodily injury. Ms. Johnson, you called the alarm company, you called local law enforcement, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And when law enforcement arrived, they allowed you, the 2 people in this situation, to go into the home unescorted without any cooling off period, which resulted in the loss of Mr. DeMonte Smith and resulted in your conviction for voluntary manslaughter. So when considering the aggravating and mitigating circumstances of this case, the court is required to impose a sentence that is sufficient, but not greater than necessary. So Ms. Johnson, I will sentence you as follows. As to voluntary manslaughter, I will sentence you to 20 years to serve 10 years in confinement. The first 5 years of those 10 years to be served in prison, and the remaining 5 years to be served as home confinement. The remaining 10 years of the 20-year sentence will be served on probation. Special conditions of the 5 years of home confinement is that you must be fully employed. You can
So 5 years, pretty much 5 years in the can. Like that right there, this case right here, it hit home with that judge. It hit home with that either this judge been through it, like domestic violence or somebody close to her. It hit home with that judge. She got to serve 5. And then you get the, you know what I'm saying, you get the rest on probation. Yeah. That hit home with that judge, for sure.
Only leave your house for work, medical appointments, school, and for minor children, school appointments, minor children's therapy appointments, and minor children's school-sponsored activities. The hours of your work, school, and medical are only to be between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., and there is to be no one at your home at any time during the duration of your sentence who has a felony conviction. As to count 3, the aggravated assault, it will merge into count 2, voluntary manslaughter by operation of law. As to count 4, aggravated assault, I will sentence you to 10 years to serve, to run concurrent with count 2. As to count 5, the possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, I will sentence you to 5 years to serve, consecutive suspended. As to count 6, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, with the victim being Nyla Clark, I will sentence you to 12 months of probation to run concurrent with count 2. Special conditions of probation is that the minor child is to see a licensed therapist, counselor, or psychologist twice a month.
So 5 in the can, 5 at home, and then the other 10 on probation. And then she suspended like a count, and then the other counts run concurrent with the sentence. So man, she got off. She getting off. You know what I'm saying? Well, not got off, because anytime in prison, if you spend 1 day in prison, that's too much. But for the crime committed, well, you know what? It is a crime. It's a crime. She unalived somebody, so it's a crime. So for the crime that committed and what she got, yeah, she getting off. She getting off. Let's go a little bit more.
For 12 months, and that you are to attend and successfully complete parenting classes for 12 months. As to count 7, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree with Nuri Clark, I will sentence you to 12 months on probation. Conditions of probation, special conditions of probation are that minor child also is to see a licensed therapist, counselor, or psychologist twice a month for 12 months, and that you are to complete parenting classes. I will sentence you under the First Offender Act, and I need to advise you, Ms. Johnson, of your rights post-conviction. Ms. Johnson, you have the right to seek post-judgment relief from your conviction of the crimes of voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. By either making a motion for a new trial in this court and/or filing an appeal to a higher appellate court. If you want to file a motion for a new trial or appeal, then you would need to file the said motion or notice of appeal with the Clerk of Superior Court of this county, DeKalb County, within 30 days. You may want to more fully discuss this with your attorney.
Yo, man. Hey, listen, y'all. We're going to stop it right there. This one right here was crazy right here. We're going to stop it right here. But look, I just want y'all to look at her like her face, right? Her eyes tell a story. I can't quite put my finger on what, but it's really a ice cold stare. So I don't know whether, like, in that house, I don't know what she was going through. We don't know what she was going through. Like, we don't know, like, what the, you know what I'm saying, what the extent of the abuse was. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like she done turned cold. Like, if you seen her earlier in the video, in the music video, it's like, you know, and trust me, I know, like, in music videos, you got to play the part or whatever the case may be. But it's a complete 360 from, like, how that the look on her face now. And it's like, I don't know, man. He had a history of domestic violence, man, against her. And then who knows who else before her and everything. He got out of prison, man. He got out of prison, which I ain't trying to, I ain't judging nobody, but I'm saying, though, it's like, you got to call a spade sometimes. Because, like, man, like, I'm surprised that everything occurred with the police right there. That's the definition of a crash out right there. That's the definition of crash out. Like, when you really crashing out, you don't care. She did all that with the police right there. What that tell you? I know what it tell me. It tell me, hey, that was a person who didn't care no more. So who knows what she was going through? But it's weird that, you know, it's weird that she left the kids with him and she went out partying and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to judge nobody and all that, but it's just like, it's weird. It was weird. And then, you know, the phone being off and then coming back on, like, why was the phone turned off or powered off or whatever the case may be? And then she just so happened to find the charger, and then it could be cut back on for the next month. Like, man, listen, there's so many questions, man, but we ain't got that kind of time, y'all. We ain't got that kind of time. We're going to end it right here. But, man, I'll just say this right here. People, keep your hands to yourself. Fellas, keep your hands to yourself. Women, I know sometimes these dudes be saying stuff to make y'all put y'all hands on them, but please keep your hands to yourself. Everybody, keep your hands to yourself. If you know you're not ready for to be in a relationship or union or whatever, then, hey, leave the person alone until you go somewhere and fix yourself and get ready. Because then you have situations like this. That was so wild, man, to see her get arrested right in front of the kids. And then the kids like crying and stuff because the police taking their mom away. And not only that, it's like the dude, he just collapsed. Like, he collapsed, all of it on camera too, the whole thing. Man. It just hurt your heart, bro, and it hurt your head and your eyes too, because the whole thing is right there. Man. Damn. But listen, man, we're gonna end it right there, man. Like, thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, man. And all the new subscribers, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. All the people that comment, thank y'all for comment, man. But please jump in the comments, man. Let me know about this one right here. Let me know what y'all think. Let me ask this. Do y'all think that it was justified? Or do y'all think that it was cold-hearted? What she did. You know what I'm saying? Was it justified or was it cold-hearted what she did? Or did she just get tired? Did she get pushed to the edge and then she had no choice to do what she did? Let me know. Let me know, man. Thank y'all for watching, man. Blue Light. I'm out.